Well folks, welcome back to the workshop. Today we've got another dirty Milwaukee on, because she is dirty. Obviously this is from a garage. Customers left it in for repair. Needs a quick tidy up, and there's a few other little problems. One being the slack battery, but the main problem is the switch. Customer says it's starting, stopping and going up and down through the speeds. Switch just isn't working right. You get a different speed depending on where you hold the switch. But forward and reverse is working, and she is going both directions. Variable is working. Sometimes, so the problem's on the switch. Depending on the model, might be able to fix it. If we can open up the switch and give it a clean out, maybe we can fix that. Otherwise, she's actually not sounding too bad. The bearing inside of here and the bearing on the back actually sound okay. But she is a little bit grubby. So she's going to need a clean. Not essential, but we might do it anyway. And also the battery. Holder's badly worn, common problem for the Milwaukees. Battery retainer holders, these here boys. Only two wee small pieces of plastic, and they're only going on to here. So this part of the body just starts to wear away. You can see there the wee angle on it. Plastic's actually worn away from it. We'll see if we can pack that out and get it fitting a bit tighter. Contacts also burn away. This one isn't too bad. Not burnt away just yet. It's a 2021 machine. Right, let's see what we can do with this one. First off, dig out the screws. Right, those bearings are okay. And sides also getting a little bit grubby. Might give that feel a bit of a clean as well. And then the hidden screw as well, don't forget about that one. That's all dirt, grease and hand sweat. Right, start to see where the switch is giving trouble. The outside's fairly bad, and the inside's no better. All this here. Grit and grime. It's on the body there, it's on the switch. Now it's here. It works its way down to here and starts getting taken in to the switch. So luckily this one here is the older model, and we should be able to do something with it. Brake cleaner being sprayed in this as well though. It's actually attacking the silicone here. I'm going to go all soft. But this is the problem up here. This is with the newer one. The whole electronic model is one piece. Very difficult to get into. But But these older ones, but like the Bosch and the DeWalt, you can't open them up and give them a wee clean. This is very bad. It's coming from a mechanic, so this has been used daily. And it's for earning money, not for looking clean. I don't generally recommend Milwaukee tools for many people, but if you're a mechanic, yeah, Milwaukee does make sense. If you have the extra power and the extra torque, so whenever you need to get a bolt out, you have that extra power you need. But if you're cutting a bit of timber with a circular saw or a jigsaw, there's no reason to have all that extra power just to spin a blade. It just causes the motor to burn out that a little bit quicker. That's a common thing as well. These here to actually just disintegrate and fall apart. It's only for the Bluetooth. The machine will actually run without it. Don't know if that's worth repairing or not. Probably don't need to. Take that out. Take out your lead for that wee board on here. And take all of this away. Don't forget your one for your ground wire as well. Now that needs a good clean. I don't often clean the outside of the machines because there's no real need. They're going to be used and get dirty again. Bit of a pointless measure. But the insides, they're starting to look like that. You do want to give them a clean. Simply because if you're going to bother cleaning out the switch and the motor, fixing all this, it's a bit pointless putting them back into a dirty machine body. They're going to get dirty very quickly again. So we'll clean that there out. As soon as we're doing the inside, we'll just do the outside. We'll also give this a clean first. No point opening this and getting more dirt inside of it. And also we'll have to do something with this here button as well, see if we can get a replacement for that. Might have a second hand one lying around. But apart from that, she's not looking too bad. And that's also a problem. These wires are off here too. So we'll have to see if we're going to fix that. It'll run without this. Not 100% sure how necessary it is. Might try to rejoint them. They're just going on to this, which is actually just a counter. We blow counter they call it. So if you're using the phone app on your phone and you want to dial in the torque settings or something, it allows you to count the blows for working out torques, for setting different speeds on it on the Bluetooth mode. Generally nobody ever uses it, so don't know if we'll actually bother fixing that. It's not just a broken wire, it's actually snapped off from the board, so it's not wires and reconnecting. I'll have to solder that onto the board again. Not sure if I can. We don't know which orientation the wires are now, so I might have to do without that. It'll still run without it. It's only for counting the blows if you're using the Bluetooth on your phone. The actual anvil on this is fine as well. It's not dirty. Might even change that hog ring as well. But the anvil's still good, and it's not too dry down here. But we might just clean out this head as well, because it's starting to get gunk built up here on the steel bush, which can sometimes cause it to growl, so we'll give that a wash. No needle bearing on this either, just a plastic washer on the bottom. That's what the actual anvil runs against instead of a needle bearing, just less friction. Right, Get the back of that clean. Right, clean this out. Now, a wee bit cleaner. Now this here is the main thing we need to deal with. Switch. So on the switch there's a couple of wee tabs. These we click on tabs. One here, one on the top, and two in the back. To lift them and push the switch away. You can really lift them a little bit. Still dirt down in there now. Get it underneath. Prise them away. One more down here. And we can see what the switch problem is. Dirt. Contact cleaner for this. Just be careful you don't lose these little brass wipers on the actual plunger itself. They're just sitting there. If you blow air across this, they're just going to fly away. Get yourself some contact cleaner. Very handy stuff to have lying around. Okay, that's them away already. Now, down in here and behind this plunger, there's not much in there. All the electronics of these two wee wipers on this here board. The rest is just a contact straight down here. That's the actual on-off switch. Just give that a wee quick blast there. Just give it a wee wash out. hold it so that all the liquid is actually running out with the dirt. You can see all them wee bits and pieces now. Hopefully that should sort her out. Just don't go wiping them away with the liquid. Things are not going to work without those. Now, look at that for a difference. And switch it have no problem now. Put it on through all the speeds. If you pull it on fully, it should go into full speed, no problem. Now, if you're wondering how all that dirt gets in, there's a little rubber sleeve here. This is like your bellows. As you can see, it's all swollen up. That's from brake cleaner. It attacks the silicone and makes it swell. Once it swells, it allows a gap for the dirt to get on. But obviously you just can't buy this on its own. You can't buy the switch on its own. You can't buy anything on its own. If anything goes wrong with the switch, you have to replace the entire motor unit, which is half the price of the machine. So that's going to have to do for now. Now, because we washed all the lube out, I'm going to top it up with a wee bit of silicone grease. Same on this end. It'll just allow the wipers and the contacts to move back and forth freely. To be lubricated. The silicone lube won't actually interfere with the switch itself. Now, lastly, these little wipers. They just sit on there to these two wee pins. One on the switch plunger and one on the forward reverse. Without them, the switch isn't going to work at all. Now, that should get her running. That's it. That should do the job. First thing to put on is this little ground wire. Tucks in just up here. That's in there. This lead for your blow counter runs on this track, but I'm not going to reinstall that. I'll just put it on here anyway to keep it out of the way. And the same with your Bluetooth power. This boy just tucks down on here. Your wires are to this side, and your ribbon then sits in between the wires and your switch. And this boy as well, the button for your selecting your mode, that's gone. So I'll actually just replace that with a second hand one. A little pull of grease in that groove inside the actual steel bush. And your nylon washer sits down in there. Get a bit of grease in that too. I always say these don't take an awful lot, so won't be putting too much on. Like this, there's not really much point even putting it on, but put it on there anyway. Easier to actually fit it like that. Drop the housing onto it. A lot easier that way. Like this again, not going to bother trying to fix that. Not going to bother ordering a new one. We'll just stick in a second hand one. Or you can just leave it out completely. Really, not all that necessary. Unless we're one of the odd people that actually use the Bluetooth function. Now to repair the wear on this here part of the housing where the battery clips on, using a very, very high-tech method. Soldering iron and old Milwaukee body. Get a few bits of plastic and melt the plastic onto here with the soldering iron. Now, it's not a perfect repair, but it does the job. And the other option is to actually replace the body, buy a new clamshell for it. They cost around €45. And when the switch is given trouble and you have other electronic components that's actually broken and wires missing, it might not be worth putting €45 into this. The lighter the piece the better. Sometimes you put on too much, it takes too much heat away from the soldering iron. It's rough and dirty, but it does work. Just tidy that up there on the flat file. Same for this one. That should be a big improvement. Right, I think that's just about ready to go. Now it's a shame you can't put a spring in the back of these anymore. This is quite annoying having that big loose battery retainer. A little slack here. There we are. Piece of plastic. If you want, you can pack this out a little bit with the likes of a small O-ring. Slide that in there instead, just between the housing and the battery retainer. Have the O-ring act as a spring or a damper. I'll just pack this out a little bit more. So that takes a lot of the wobble out of that battery retainer. I think that's about it. See what she runs like now. Seeing as we went this far, may as well just finish off the letters. Now, moment of truth. For a start, battery's a lot better. Still moving up and down, but not in and out. The main thing is the switch. Look at that. Variable speed isn't exactly perfect. But does vary a wee bit. Can't improve that completely because the actual wee wipers are going to be a little bit worn. But it's a lot better than what it was. Actual speed as well is going on to full speed. No matter which way you hold the trigger. That's her. That's what we want. Doesn't matter about the variable as long as she goes on full whack whenever you need to. There's not much point in having it where you have to hold the trigger a certain way to actually get it to go full speed. If it's only 1/2 speed, it's not going to be doing what you want. That's her. One Milwaukee nut gun. Cleaned up, fixed up, switch repaired, and the body packed out. Plus a new wee button as well for help selecting the modes. Only other thing now, the anvil. That's not holding much, so we'll also just change that. Easy to take it off. We set of spreaders or fine circle pliers. Spread it out. Pop the old one off. As you can see, that is well worn. It's no longer round at all. Wee flat edges on it. Plus under that, there's also a little O-ring. This boy here, that helps pack out the steel ring and gives it a bit of spring. And this goes, generally that wee O-ring's gone too. Little O-rings are cheap, only cost about €1.50 or €2. That's the part number there. But the hog ring itself is not cheap. These things can cost around €10. Very expensive for all it is. Now, to fit it, there's a hard way and an easy way. Hard way is trying to spread it and get it onto this ring without spreading it too much and bending it. The easy way is throw it on the table, something soft like this lino, and press the anvil onto it. Simple as that. Now, new hog ring. It can properly grip the socket. One Milwaukee cordless nut gun, the Fuel M18 ONEFHIWF12 half-inch Milwaukee nut gun. Fixed up again, washed out, switch repaired, body packed it with a wee bit of plastic, and the hog ring replaced. That's her, back up and running again. Anyway folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this wee Milwaukee repair video. Give us a wee like and a follow down below if you're enjoying the videos. Cheers for watching.